Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Parker. I'm the Communications Director for the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. I want to thank everybody for joining us here today at beautiful Blue Marsh Lake here in Berks County. Just a fantastic fishing and boating destination for the entire Reading area and really just southeastern Pennsylvania. This is just a great place to come, especially throughout the summer months when the weather is just gorgeous like this here at the end of August. I'd like to recognize some familiar faces and special guests that are joining us here today. First of all, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Thank you for hosting us here at the facility today. I want to recognize Jeff Piscanio as the park manager here at Blue Marsh, as well as the Chief Ranger, Jonah Eckert, who's also joining us and will say a few words. State Representative Barry Joswiak, of course, represents the 5th District here in Berks County, including the entire Blue Marsh Lake. Staff from Senator Christopher Gebhardt's office is joining us here today. With the Fish and Boat Commission, we have multiple members of our Bureau of Law Enforcement. You can see some of them in the background here on our one of our new patrol boats that we've added to our fleet recently. We have Sergeant Mike Blair, Waterways Conservation Officer Joe Underdunk, as well as to my left here is WCO Shane Casey, whose region includes Blue Marsh Lake. Adam Spangler is our boating and watercraft safety specialist with the Fish and Boat Commission, who will also be speaking here shortly. And we just want to bring everybody here together. Obviously, we're just about here at what is the final summer holiday, really, of the year. We kick things off with the summer boating season in Pennsylvania, really at Memorial Day weekend. Then we have the 4th of July, which is a big celebration, and we kind of round things out here. Folks are going back to school. People have less time. Their attention turns to other things, fall activities and sports and things like that. But we have the Labor Day weekend, which is really the end of the summer boating season here traditionally in Pennsylvania. And we just wanted to give a couple of reminders to make sure that we finish strong and that we ask boaters to continue to make smart decisions here as they hit the water this weekend. So this morning, we'll review a short safe boating checklist that everybody can use, whether they head out on the water here at Blue Marsh this weekend or anywhere across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We just want to remind folks to put safety first so you can make those fishing and boating memories for years to come. So I'll turn things over first here to WCO Shane Casey to get us started.
Thanks, Mike. Good morning, everyone. The number one thing you can do to stay safe on the water is wear your life jacket. Laws require that you have a life jacket aboard for every person on your boat. Life jackets must be U.S. Coast Guard approved, be in good condition, and fit each person on board. If you have children on board, make sure you have a life jacket that fits snugly on the child. Children ages 12 and under must always wear a life jacket when aboard a boat less than 20 feet in length, including all canoes, kayaks, and paddleboards. Unfortunately, each year, people lose their lives while boating, and it could have been prevented. Nationwide each year, approximately 80% of victims who die in boating incidents were not wearing a life jacket. Here in Pennsylvania, 10 people have lost their lives while boating this year. 7 of the victims were not wearing life jackets. Ask yourself if you'd be willing to take that same chance, or allow your friends and loved ones to take that chance when you head out boating this summer. Again, please wear your life jacket. Thank you. I'd like to turn things over to our folks here at the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Jeff Piscanio and Jonah Eckert.
Thank you, WCO Casey. Good morning, everyone. I'd just like to take this time this morning to remind everyone, if you visit Blue Marsh Lake this weekend, you will be sharing the water with a wide variety of boaters. Fishermen on bass boats, kayakers enjoying a paddle, pontoon boats out there, picnickers, jet skiers, and of course power boaters and personal watercraft pulling water skiers. You'll also see conservation officers and Corps of Engineer park rangers on the water enforcing the regulations. Our members of law enforcement don't head out every day with the goal of ruining everyone's good time. I just want to remind you, though, it is our responsibility collectively to make sure everyone remains safe. I'm going to turn it over to Chief Ranger Jonah Eckert now to talk about some special regulations regarding alcoholic beverages here at the lake. Ranger Eckert.
Thanks, Jeff. As a general rule, whenever you're out this weekend, please never boat under the influence of alcohol or drugs. At Blue Marsh Lake and all Philadelphia District U.S. Army Corps of Engineers lake projects, alcoholic beverages are prohibited in possession and for consumption. Simply put, impaired boating increases the chances for an accident. Just like operating a motor vehicle on our roadways in Pennsylvania, a person operating a boat over the legal limit is over the legal limit if he or she has a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or higher. Alcohol affects your balance, coordination, and judgment. And BUI penalties include loss of boating privileges, significant fines, and imprisonment. As always, officers will be on patrol looking for signs of impairment. And we'd like to welcome Adam Spangler with the Fish and Boat Commission's boating, and he's a boating and watercraft safety specialist.
Thank you, Ranger Eckert. One of the great things about boating in Pennsylvania is finding new or discovering new bodies of water or new streams to paddle with and enjoy with friends. Over the past several years, we've seen an incredible increase in boating, especially in paddlecraft such as canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddleboards. While we welcome the explosion and growth of boating here in Pennsylvania, we know that many new boaters will hit the waterways, the streams, and lakes across Pennsylvania with very little or no knowledge of the water they're getting onto. So we want to encourage people to try new bodies of water for the first time, but that's why the next step in our safety checklist is so important. Have a float plan. This is a simple means. You can simply send a text message or write a note to someone letting them know where you're going to be, how long you expect to be there, and then plans can change when you're out there on the water, so you want to keep those people up to date, knowing if you change locations or move to a different spot. Carrying a dry bag with you to keep your phone or in your stuff dry is a great way so that you can keep those communications open. So carry that with you, and then also map out or plan your trips before you head out in the water. Maybe driving the route, making sure there's no strainers, and especially if there's any dams along your water trail, make sure you're aware of those and follow any of the signs that you might see along that water trail as you're floating down. All right. Next, I'm going to turn it over to our state representative. Yep.
Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. So here in Pennsylvania, blue skies and sunshine can turn into nasty weather very quickly. That's why it's important to always check the weather forecast before and during each boating trip. Summer's fast-moving storms can cause water levels to rise quickly and become dangerous. High water conditions can affect visibility and hide submerged obstacles such as logs and rocks that could cause you to capsize or damage your boat, causing it to become inoperable. Check the forecast before and during your boating trip. It is very important to be aware of the daily weather conditions while out on the water. Check out locations in advance where you can get your boat out of the water and find refuge from severe weather if it occurs quickly. Also, it's easy to lose track of time when we're out having fun on the water. Build extra time into your plans so you don't end up unprepared or on an unfamiliar waterway at night. I would like to wish everyone a safe, fun-filled Labor Day weekend at Blue Marsh Lake. And now I'll hand things back over to our host, Mike Parker.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Representative Jozwiak, everyone who spoke here today. Bottom line is stay safe out there. Enjoy the water. Boating is a fantastic opportunity that occurs essentially year-wide in Pennsylvania. As we leave you today, I'd like to encourage you to visit our website, fishandboat.com. You can download our Fishboat PA mobile app for many resources as well, which include online boating safety courses, of course, buying your fishing license, your launch permit, and renewing your boat registration. And as mentioned before, you can find one of those many, many great places to fish and boat across Pennsylvania. For more information about Blue Marsh Lake, I would direct you to the Army Corps of Engineers Blue Marsh Lake Facebook page. I was just looking at it yesterday, and they give some fantastic information. Folks who are on there, very active community. People are asking things about water temperature, about how busy the boat launches are, so it's a good resource to check out just to find out conditions, as mentioned, how important that is before you head out boating. Finally, I'd just like to wish everybody a very safe and fun and happy Labor Day holiday weekend. And at this time, we'd be happy to answer any questions.
The gentleman in the blue shirt, I'm sorry.
Adam Spengler.
That creates some problems with people who might not be experienced or know be familiar with the waterway. Can you elaborate a little bit like what kind of problems you run into with that?
Right. So with the explosion of on-powered or paddle craft, like the canoes, kayaks, paddleboards, mainly is getting education out to those people. There is a free online paddling course you can take through our website that can get you familiar with some of the safety things for boating. And then also, again, it comes down to knowledge of the waterway you're paddling and the conditions of the waterway. So making sure you scout out those creeks or streams you're going to paddle before you go is key to keeping everyone safe on that. And then making sure you have your life jackets on when you're out there on the waterways is again, key to having everyone come home safely. Yep, my name is Adam Spengler, and I'm with the Pennsylvania Fishing Boat Commission. Spangler.
Just building one thing off of what Adam said, one of the concerns regarding the explosion of paddle sports is the availability of kayaks and paddle boards. Specifically, when you're driving down the road and you see kayaks on top of just about every other car that you pass, it seems like, as you approach that boat launch. The number of new boaters that we have in Pennsylvania has really gone up over the past decade. We know that through our statistics based on the sales of our unpowered boat launch permits. Folks who are essentially purchasing a kayak at a local hardware store or a sporting goods store. They saw someone else do it. They always thought it would be fun. They purchased that kayak for a few $100s and immediately head out on the water with very little or no boating experience. So that's why it's so important that we constantly pound this message for boaters who have been on the water for decades. It seems kind of redundant to constantly remind them about the safety measures and the regulations, but we have to keep in mind that you'll be sharing the water with not only folks who are out here every weekend or that go out multiple times a year, but also people who are brand new and it may be their very first time on the water. So just basic things like etiquette when you're out on the water, when you're here at the boat launch, obeying the slow no wake areas here on the water, and just general courtesy with other boaters is very important. So we stress those things from the very beginning.
One question: How many people do you anticipate this weekend?
It's tough to say. We have over 300,000 registered boaters across the state of Pennsylvania. You never really know which, what the numbers will be. What we can say, it is going to be a high volume weekend for boating. So boat launches, especially when we have good weather. I would actually ask WCO Casey to just maybe talk about what it can look like here in this parking lot and maybe some basic boating etiquette if you arrive here and it's very busy.
Got it.
Thank you.
So with a holiday weekend, you can expect to see the boat launches usually at an increased amount of people. So best practice is, obviously get to the boat ramps a little bit earlier, pack your coolers, pack your gear, go through the checklist of your boating equipment prior to coming out in the lake the next day. When you do get to the launch, like I said, you're going to get follow up in that line. Make sure once you're in that line, prep the boat as if you're ready to go. So all you got to do is just drop it in the water and then pick up your family. Always remember, don't forget to put the plug in. Even though it's the end of the summer, people still tend to forget. So that's always a popular reminder. But yeah, with the holiday weekend and school being off on Monday with that holiday, we'll should expect a high number of boaters out there on this weekend, probably starting Friday, Saturday, and especially Sunday. So, like I said, plan for some traffic, plan for some traffic delays. Make sure you're bringing a lot of water, because sometimes you might be stuck in the waiting line just to get your boat out. So, just a couple helpful tips there. Like I said, even when you're pulling your boat out, it doesn't hurt to pull it out a little bit earlier, because the lines do get jammed up pretty quick. So, any other questions? Go ahead.
Is a permit required for launch?
So, I usually tell people, anytime you got a boat plus a motor, whether that's electric or gas, always requires a registration. Up at off of 183, you have the state launch, which is Shitey. To launch a kayak or canoe, a non-powered vessel like a paddleboard as well, all you need is a launch permit, and that you can get that online, or you can get that in store at a local outdoorsman shop. So does that answer your question? Yep. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have one for
Go ahead.
Sure.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Obviously, we have the beach area here, but there's a lot of people like to go in the water in Oakwood Road in that area. Are there any safety tips you can give on either just swimmers or people in the water or boaters between those areas that kind of intersect?
Sure. First of all, I'll just mention that Church Road, as you had brought up, is not a designated swim area. We do have a designated swim area on the other side of the lake directly behind me. It is a graded swim beach. That's where we recommend folks to go swimming at. A couple tips for swimming on any water body. Of course, it's much different than swimming in a swimming pool. You have a lot of different factors, one being weather, the wind causing wave action, which can cause problems for people who aren't good swimmers. People like to bring balls and different things in the water to throw around. Those things can get away from folks and they can start to drift out into the lake. Don't go after them and try to retrieve them. We'll find another way to get them for you. We've had unfortunate instances in the past where that has happened. I would just remind people that it's a totally different environment. If you're not accustomed to swimming, if you're not a good swimmer, stay close to shore or use the designated swimming area. That's the best advice I can give you. It's good? Thank you.
Just wrap it up here and let everybody know that. So that'll be it. That'll conclude our our presentation here that we did. I want to thank everyone for speaking here and taking your time out of your schedule today. As you can see, I believe that's brand new. I think that's a 2024 Boston Whaler. Correct. Right. It's one of our new. We just recently added 25 brand new boats to our Fish and Boat Commission fleet statewide for large and medium-sized lakes like this. Some of our river systems. Some of our smaller lakes where we need different types of boats. So 3 or 4 different models of law enforcement boats were added recently, which is again it's a law enforcement benefit. It benefits the resource as well because we have a better way to get out here, a better tool for the job for our waterways conservation officers. With that, we're going to bring the boat in. We have a number of life jackets over here if you'd like to see a couple different types that you're not familiar with, and an opportunity to check out our new boat. And if anybody wanted to take a short ride on the lake here for any further questions or video or photograph purposes. Other than that, thank you for joining us.